Hi, I'm Natalie Ledwell and this is the Inspiration Show. Now we have a very special show today. We're actually in Hawaii at the moment. So if you can hear those waves crashing in the background, it's because the water is kind of just there. It's a stone's throw from where we are. And you know what? Sometimes it amazes me the randomness of things that happen and the people that we meet when we're traveling. Now one of those random events is actually meeting Mercedes Maidana. So hi Mercedes, how are you?
Hi Natalie, I'm doing good, thank you.
Now I heard Mercedes' story yesterday, which is so inspirational and has so many lessons for us to learn that I had to have her on the show, which is why I've grabbed her right now so that she can sit here and record this video with us. So Maidana, Mercedes, you know that with the Passion Peaks videos we ask everyone the same 5 questions.
Okay.
Okay, so the first question is that, you are really living your life of passion, but it wasn't really an easy road for you, and your story is so inspirational and so many lessons in it. Can you share with us what your story is?
Well, it's a long story, but I try to make it short for you.
Yes.
I come from a big city, from Buenos Aires, in Argentina. I grew up in a city, and I never had too much contact with the water until I was 21 years old. That was 9 years ago, so you can do the math and know how old I am now. And at age 21, I went through a big crisis in my life, something very dark that I went through. And I was really depressed, and I was pretty much numb, and I couldn't do anything. So one of my friends took me out of the country, and she invited me to go to Brazil to have a little holiday. And that's where I discovered surfing, just by random coincidence, if you want to call it. And since I touched a surfboard, everything changed, and I just couldn't stop doing it, and I fell in love with the sport. And that took me to actually realizing that was my passion and my call in life. So I started traveling the world, trying to become a better surfer and surf different spots. And I was basically trying to find a place where I could live, where I would have a beach and waves and surf every day, because I come from a city that is 4 hours away from the ocean. And everybody around me thinking that I was absolutely nuts, because I left everything I was doing. I had a little company there, clothing company, and I just closed it down, and with that money I went travel the world to surf. And nobody would understand it around me, like, what are you doing? How can you leave your family, your friends? What you accomplish in this country, and going with what? With a backpack. And I've been just following my dream and knowing that I wanted to surf every day of my life. And eventually, a few years later, I ended up in Hawaii, here. This is my beloved home now.
Yes.
Here's where my heart is also. And since I came to Hawaii, another passion developed, that was big wave surfing. As you know, here we have the biggest waves in the world.
Yes.
And the best breaks. And year by year, I started getting more confident and more enthusiastic about surfing bigger waves. And I realized that was my real passion, to be a big wave surfer. So that's what I'm doing now after a few years of surfing.
Great, because I often find it's like one event or like a series of events that get you from being depressed to following your passion of being a big wave surfer. And I know that there's not many girls that actually participate in this sport. So what was that specific event, or what sort of led you to where you are now?
It was a broken heart event.
Yes.
And it was a very humiliating situation. The person I was dating went to date a very famous woman in my country, so I actually found out that he was dating this person through magazines.
Oh no!
And everybody in my environment was like, "What's I'm like, I don't know. I know the same that you know." But it was really, really hard, and it was a bunch of months where all I would see everywhere on the streets were these people in the magazine, and I got my heart really broken.
Yeah.
And so that was the main event. And at that time, I remember actually when all that happened, when I discovered what was happening, I made a conscious decision in that moment, which I really think it was spirit. It wasn't from my mind, it wasn't even from my heart, it was from something higher than me. And I knew there was 2 paths. One was the darkness and one was the light. And the relationship I was with that person, it was pretty dark, and it was very intense with the big highs, the big lows, but it wasn't really the healthiest thing for me to be around. And I was doing a lifestyle that wasn't serving me whatsoever.
Yep.
So it was basically, okay, are you going to use this opportunity and change your life, or are you going to just keep going down, 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 and down?
Yeah.
I didn't want to touch any more bottoms. I had many different bottoms throughout my life, and very painful. And I was like, that's the deepest, that's the last one I want to have. So it was, I felt like, you choose, you have a choice right now. And that didn't mean that, I still had to struggle through the pain. I had to go through my emotions, and that took many years, actually.
Yep.
It wasn't like, okay, I choose the light and now I'm happy.
Yeah.
It was a lot of inner work, a lot of counseling, a lot of crying. Like, I think I cried 2 years straight every single day. But always knowing that I'm transforming my life and I'm choosing something different.
Yeah.
So the surfing was the cherry of the pie, and that was the gift that God gave me, so I could have a really, joyful life, full of nature and light and being healthy, surrounded with nice people and traveling the world. But I think it was all because I was really surrendered to do my inner work. And the way I saw it was, like, put the sleeves up, okay, we gotta work, we gotta do this, I'm gonna go through the tunnel, but after the tunnel there's light,
Because I can't imagine, like, being a big wave surfer as a girl, that can't be like all an easy road either. Surely that has its challenges too.
Yeah, it does. I personally don't even try to buy into that. I just see myself as a surfer. Mm-hmm. I'm a person that is in the water trying to get the waves that are there, and I don't think of myself that I'm, weaker or stronger or special because I'm a woman. I'm just a surfer in the water, and I'm following the codes that I need to follow in the lineup. So I try not to buy into whatever, or judgment or praising, the good, the bad. I don't even want to buy into that. I'm just going to go there and do it because I enjoy it.
Right. Awesome. Now, I know that success doesn't just happen, and all successful people have a specific routine, or they have specific habits that they do every day to keep them on track. So what are some of those habits for you?
Well, my number one habit is meditation, and I need to do that every single day. And nobody's obligating me, but the days that I really don't do it, I usually start going in a downward spiral, and maybe it's one day and then the next and the other. I got too busy and I'm not meditating, and suddenly I'm overwhelmed, stressed out, cranky, complaining, and then I realize I gotta put myself back in alignment with something bigger than me. And that's what serves me the most, actually. So I do first my inner work, and then I do my outer work, and especially with big wave surfing is being very committed to the discipline of training and being very fit physically. So I can endure the wipeouts and carrying the big boards and the sprints when you got paddle for a big wave. And so I'm trying to do first my inner, then the outer is the outer action of keeping myself as a top athlete. And yes, basically that's what I'm doing to get myself focused and trying to get positive in life, and having my goals where I can see them in a way so I know where I'm going towards.
Wonderful. Okay, now you're probably really qualified to answer this question, because I get a lot of emails from people that ask, well, how can I stay positive when everything around me is negative, when everything seems to be working against me? Like, how can I stay positive and move out of that? So what advice do you have for people in that situation?
I would just say what works for me. The first thing I personally do is forgive myself for being in that moment that I'm stuck, because I usually tend to add more judgment. Like, I should be happy, I should be grateful. And you know what? Sometimes I am not, So I accept it first. Today I'm absolutely cranky. I don't want to get out of the couch, and I want to eat Doritos all day long. I'm not going to do my healthy diet, and I just want to watch American Next Top Model all day long, the marathon. So first I come into terms like, this is what I'm going to do today. I'm going to be lazy, I'm going to be depressed. Just by acknowledging that, I think like 80% of my problem already goes. because it's mostly the pressure that I bring into myself to be in a good space, you know. So I release the pressure and I accept where I am, and then I surrender and I ask my higher power to take me through the day. So I basically, I literally make a prayer inside of me and I invite God and I say, you know what, I can do it today, so you do it for me and you do it with me. And just show me the actions, the thoughts, what you want me to say, what you want me to do. Let's do it together. So that's what I can maybe share with somebody.
That's a great answer. Now, my last question, and it may be hard to narrow this down to one thing, but if you have one piece of advice or one action step that people can implement today that will facilitate a positive change in their life, what would that one thing be?
Okay, for me, what I'm discovering lately is that to be in connection with myself and in connection with receiving the loving from Spirit, that's where everything starts and ends. So for me, it's to find that sacred space inside of you where you can close your eyes and find that place where everything is centered inside and find that loving inside and just be in that space without expectations, without doing anything, just being and feeling it, that loving or that peace that is always there available, and we have it inside of us. But we're so busy and we have so many layers and so many things that are blocking it. So it's just a matter of giving it the time and the space to be in connection. And for me, everything starts from there. And on a practical note, I would say for me, it helps me a lot to do vision boards or treasure maps, where you can put images and words and affirmations of things that you want to move into your life. So maybe just put the qualities of what you want to be experiencing. If you're depressed, you can make a board where you can put images of joy and laughter and happiness and gratitude, and it can be your images or something that relates to you, and just have something that that's what you want and that's where you're going to, and you have a goal and it's there, So once you see it, you know that it's gonna manifest.
It keeps reminding you. I mean, that's the whole thing behind my movies. Being able to have that, watch that movie with your affirmations and everything, and really raise your vibration and get you into a more positive point. So,
exactly.
Yeah. Well, look, congratulations on everything that you've achieved. I know that it's difficult, especially as women surfers, to get sponsors. I know that you have a sponsor with Patagonia, and you've done so well for yourself. And it's such an inspiration to go from a point of, that is despair, really. I mean, to be publicly outed, and have to be able to find out about your relationship that I can't even imagine. But then to be able to make such a positive life from that, it's just it's such an inspiration. So if people want to find out more about you, and I know that you've got some great videos out there of you surfing the big waves and everything, where can we send everybody?
Well, you can see my website is mercedesmaidana.com, or you can find me on Facebook, my athlete page as well.
So how do you spell your name, just so that we get it correct for people to find you?
It's Mercedes, like the car, Mercedes-Benz.
Mercedes, yeah.
Maidana is Maidana, Maidana.
Great. And if you just click on the banner to the side, that'll take you through to Mercedes' Facebook page, and you can find out more about her and have a look at some of these amazing videos of her surfing these big waves. So thanks again for joining us, Mercedes. And guys, remember, if there's anything here that the useful information, please share the love, share the video by clicking the Facebook and Twitter share buttons above. And if you haven't done so already, make sure that you leave your email in the box above so that we can send you 6 pre-made My Movies. And we'll also keep you up to date with all of the upcoming shows. So till the next time, remember to live large, choose courageously, and love without limits. We'll see you soon.
Bye.